Welcome to the Weinberg Family History Project, the Weinberg and Langer Grandma Millie and Grandpa Davy Family History Project on February 14th, 2006. Happy Valentine's Day, happy Tu B'Shvat, happy Ezra's birthday yesterday. We're starting with Grandpa, and we'll move on to Grandma. So we'll start with the family geography and family history. So first, first your name and your birthday, and then we'll get to the questions.
All right. I am David Weinberg. I was born December the 10th, 1920, on Hanukkah, the 6th Hanukkah light, as my birthday.
Great. Now, what about your family? Where are they from in Europe?
My family came from the little town of Khatin, which is now in Ukraine. Originally, it was in Moldova, which was part of Bessarabia, but originally, which was part of Romania, but now it's in Ukraine.
Both your parents were from?
Both my parents came from this little town of Khatin, which is spelled Chotin.
So, why did they leave, and when did they leave, and who left?
My father was the first to leave, and he left approximately 1885. And the reason he left was on account of the pogroms that were going on, and he was only a young boy of about 12 years old, and his family sent him to America to be with his family here of an older brother, an older sister, and they sent him here for safety.
And then he left at the same time as his wife?
No, my mother left approximately 1909.
Were they already married before they left?
No, they were married here in the United States.
But did they know each other in Khatin?
They were first cousins.
First cousins. Uh-huh. Okay. And where did they come when they came here?
Everybody from the family came to New York to a family by the name of Weinbergs. Although they were related to the Weinberg family, but that wasn't their name, their European name.
What was that? What was the European?
The European name was, my mother was a Gooderman, and my father's name, which we don't remember what their name was, but when he came here to America, his brother's name was Weinberg, and that was a name that he took.
Oh, so we had a different name back in Khatin.
He had a different name back in Europe, which we don't remember.
Wow. Wow. So, how was the journey over here? Do we know anything about their ability to get over here?
They came over here by boat. They had to travel from Ukraine over by land to Western Europe, and they came by boat, steerage, to the United States, to New York.
And was there any question about immigration?
Well, when they came here by immigration, they had to pass through immigration. They were met at the boat, and of course, there at the boat, they told him his name. His brothers who met him at the boat told him his name now is Weinberg.
Wow. So what did we do when we got here?
Well, when he got here, he went to his brother's house, and he got himself a job as a young runner in the fur business.
In the fur business.
He actually was a helper in the fur business.
Wow. And do we know anything about? Hold on a second. This is already in Scranton.
Excuse me?
Where is this all happening? Where did he get this early jobs?
Well, his brother was a furrier
Where though?
down in the fur district, which was down on 21st Street.
Well, in Scranton,
Manhattan.
in Manhattan. So how do we get to Scranton?
How did he get to Scranton? Well, he eventually, when he married twice. His first wife, he married his first wife, and he had a child, and his first wife died in childbirth with the second child. And then he married my mother, and when he married my mother, his father-in-law, my grandfather, when he came over, and he came to Scranton, and he was in the barrel business, and he was a cooper, and he had come to Scranton, and my mother and father came to Scranton to be with my mother's father, and that's how he came to Scranton.
Wow. So you did get to meet some of your grandparents?
My grandparents came to Scranton.
Wow. And who were they? What were their names?
They were working here. My grandfather was working here in Scranton, and
What were their names?
Goodman,
Goodman. First names?
Hyman,
Hyman and
he had a son, Joseph Goodman, and Joseph Goodman had come to Scranton, and my father and his brother-in-law opened up the barrel business in Scranton, and that's when they came. They were in the barrel business in Scranton.
Now, how did they start a barrel business? Like, how did they have that kind of capital and resources?
My father's brother-in-law was a cooper, had the knowledge of working with barrels, and they got a horse and wagon, and were in the barrel business.
Right. Now, was there what did they put in the barrels?
In the back of the wagon, and they bought and sold barrels.
Wow.
And then they eventually got a truck, and they put barrels. They drove the truck and picked up the barrels and sold the barrels. And
what kind of things would be put in these barrels?
everything was brought. Everything was put into barrels. Everything was put into barrels. Salad oil, sugar, lard, shortening was put into barrels, and was used. That's the way there was products was bought and was sold and was used.
Wow. Anything illegal?
No. Well, then, yes, wine was made and was put into barrels, yes, and whiskey eventually was put into barrels, was made and put into barrels illegally.
But that didn't have that wasn't part of our family.
No.
No. Okay, that's good.
Different industry.
Okay. So who in our family now is or who is the living authority of the family tree?
Well, actually, my brother Harry would be the oldest one that left in my family,
Uh-huh.
and he's in Florida.
How old is he now?
Excuse me?
How old is he now?
Harry is 88 years old.
Wow. So okay, so your first your father's first wife had 2 kids. One kid. And that was
My brother Izzy. Isidore, which was also called Henry.
And also called
Barrels.
right. And then what's the order of the kids?
The order of the kids were after Barrels was Maury, Monroe, and then Helen, and then Harry, and then myself, and then George.
Right. And all of them pretty much stayed in Scranton.
Stayed in Scranton.
Okay. Great. Okay.
The word I was thinking of was apprentice. My father was apprenticing to the fur business.
He was an apprentice.
Apprentice.
Ah, okay. All right, now we're starting section 2, which is life in the USA with Grandpa Davy Weinberg. That's how I know him. So, where did you personally grow up?
And I personally grew up in the first 5 years down, the first 7 years down in Scranton in the lower flats, 520, 820 South Washington Avenue. That was the that was the Orthodox part of Scranton. And the first 7 years of my life was Orthodox down in the flats.
And who did you live with?
We had a house.
So and all the family, there was six kids.
We all lived. We were all born down the flats.
Wow. And how many kids per room?
I really don't remember. There were two of us in each room.
So who did you share a room with?
I think I shared my room with Harry, my brother Harry. George was younger than me.
So how did all six of you get along with each other?
We got along pretty good, I guess. We were children, and we got along pretty good up until we moved up from at age 7. I moved up the hill section.
And both parents.
Yes.
Can you describe your relationship with your parents at the time? What were they?
Yes. My parents were wonderful parents. They were very, very, very good. If I was good, I was good. They were good. If I was bad, they were bad. My grandparents were with us. Only my maternal grandparents. My paternal grandparents never came over from the old country.